soldiers on my side. So it's like my family actually fought one another. They actually killed one another in the war.
Yeah, you killed my family, didn't you?
My husband, he's a Jackson. He believes that my family, my family's name is Prophet, and they were Southern, and they were Northern. And he believes that my family accidentally shot Stonewall Jackson.
Well, no accident. She's got 4 cousins. There's a book wrote about them. The Prophet Boys. There's 2 twins, 2 older brothers. They went to war at the 1st in the 18th North Carolina. 3 of them died. 1 of them came back home. The one that came back home was shot in the face with a .58 caliber mini ball, and he had headaches. He was in the hospital for a while during the war. And .58 caliber is pretty big. He had headaches and he sneezed a lot, allergies he felt. 20 years after the war, he sneezed, that mini ball came out his nose. Wilkes County Community College has the mini ball. The story about that is in a book. The book is wrote because in 1920, a trunk with several thousand original letters written by these 4 boys were found in the trunk. The lady turned it into a book. We have the book, and in the book, and I do it on the internet, on our website, I'll sit around the tent and I'll read these letters. I just done one at this last big snow, and I'll sit there around the campfire in the snow and I'll read these letters. And in a couple of these letters, they are talking, Alfred is, about him being at Chancellorsville when Jackson was shot. So there ain't no doubt in my mind that her family killed my Jackson family member.
Well, we don't know that for sure. And I don't believe that my family was shot Stonewall, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about our clothing, what we wear. On the weekend, when we go to a reenactment or a living history, when we come out of our tent, we're dressed. We're dressed and it's like you're going back in time. When you come to our tent, you see everything period correct. There's nothing in modern day that you're going to be able to see that compares. So, what I want to explain a little bit is this is a replica of an actual Civil War dress. This would be a military dress, the ladies would, or a day dress, whatever they want to call it. And they would wear this if they went on an outing to town, or if they went to church, they would wear something similar to this. And underneath, in the 1860s, the ladies covered every part of their body, from their head to their feet. And they would wear, to protect their clothing, because they didn't wash their clothing like we wash our clothing once a week or every day. To protect their clothing from the oils, natural oils in our body, they would wear 7 layers underneath their dress. They would wear their petticoats, they would wear their chimas and their bloomers, and then they would wear their food skirts, and then they would wear another skirt over top of that. And then if they were going to a dance, they would wear a corset. And this is before ladies' undergarments came out, and this is what they would wear. They would have to have a protective layer before they put this on, because this is pulled tightly to get you that hourglass figure that some of the young ladies so much dreamed of. So, and this is a replica of that. It isn't an actual corset. It would have bone in it. And this bone would actually cut you, and if you got it too tight, it would actually break your ribs. So, this was one of the particular undergarments that most ladies wore.
Anybody seen the movie with Johnny Depp in it where the young lady fainted because she had one on and she fell in the river and he had to jump in and save her? That's what she had on.
Now, we always keep our head covered. not as fancy as the ones we have on, but they would do the same. But you must always cover your head.
Now, is that the original?
Yes. And when we cooked, we would have a camp dress, which I don't have one here with me today. Just a basic dress, and you wouldn't wear a hoop with it, but you would wear your apron. And this is an apron that is a replica, and they would pin it up here, and then it just tie around like the normal aprons do. And you would always wear an apron when you cooked. And you could put your utensils in here that you cook with, and any kind of pad that you use to handle the pots with. And we also we always covered our hands. So the sun would not. If you've seen a lady that was kind of tan, and she was not from the upbringing that we represent ourselves as being the higher class. But if you've seen a lady that was tan, and she probably was out in the field working most of the time. But the most sophisticated ladies, they were pale looking. Pale was the in color then. It ain't like it is now. Everybody goes through tanning beds. But they always covered their hands. Of a day, they would keep their necks and their shoulders. Everything would be covered. They would wear undergarments, their blouses. Everything was covered down to your feet. And our shoes, most of our shoes, a working lady would wear boots. They're called granny boots. And we would wear the boots. They would have several styles, but they would also wear boots everywhere they went, unless they were going to a dance, and then they would wear a ball gown. We didn't bring a ball gown with us today, but they would wear these little slip-on shoes if they went to a dance. Other than that, they would wear boots, granny boots, all the time. And then we have these are, a lady never went to a dance without her fan, because her fan would help her talk to gentlemen. There's several things you could do with the fans, and in the 1860s, that's how they communicated with a gentleman caller, and if he was at a dance. So this is sandalwood. You can smell it. And this is it's not authentic, but it's a replica of a fan that they would have had. And at the dances, the gentlemen knew the single ladies because they was allowed to show their ankles on their dresses. If you showed your ankles, that meant you were single, and the gentleman could talk to you, or he could communicate with you in some form.
I mean to talk to you about that. Your dance card's always full of dances, and I only get maybe one or two dances with you. How come that is? I mean, the ladies.
They just call them so popular.
Ladies, even married ladies, would have dance cards, and you'd sign their dance cards to dance with them. And at the event that we do at Farmington, and a lot of places we go, we have little dance cards, and you sign the ladies' dance card to dance during the Civil War period correct officers ball that we had. We try to do as much as they would have done back then to make the presentation of what we do as lively and as period correct as we can. My wife was talking about the gloves. A gentleman would never take a lady's hand unless he had a pair of gloves on. A lot of different reasons being is, and like he was talking about gloves and Mr. Lincoln shaking a lot of hands, hygiene. What I do with this hand, you don't want to know. What they did with their hands, you didn't want to know. So during most public appearances for gentlemen and for ladies, most gentlemen wore hands. Your officers, especially your cavalry, wore heavy gauntlets because they did sword fighting. And where was it? Shiloh? Sacramento? Sacramento, Kentucky. There is Sacramento, Kentucky, by the way, in western Kentucky. A couple years ago, an officer doing a sword fight, they call it the fairy dance, for the audience, spectators, didn't put a gauntlet on. we use real weapons. The knives are real. The muskets are real. The swords are real. So real that whenever they was doing their fairy dance, the sword come off of his sword and took his pinky off. They stopped it. He bandaged it up. We finished the battle that day. But we do take safety precautions. He should have never, ever been on the battlefield without a gauntlet on. It's like a steel glove, and our swords that we fight with are not sharpened swords, but they can take a limb off.
The ladies had different accessories that they would wear if they went to a fancy dance or if they went to church. Also, they would also wear. They would take their handbags, and we have several here that are all fancy. This would be a ball gown handbag. And this one right here will be also. And y'all are more than welcome to come up here after and look at all our stuff here that we have. All this stuff is ours personally. And to be a Civil War reenactor, it's kind of pretty expensive to get involved and get started. But it can be done because me and my friend, we shop all over, finding just the right things that would fit in and would be very correct. And it's like my husband said, all ladies covered their hands. There's several different types of gloves. These are just the basic white gloves, which 90% of the women wore. And these are called, these are just that would go halfway up to your hands. And they would protect the main part of your hand. And you was able to have these on and work also.
Now, ma'am, I've got a question there. You know, you ridiculed me something awful earlier. Now, why was that?
Ridiculed you?
Mm-hmm.
My ridicule back?
Mm-hmm. Ladies' purses were called ridicules. They weren't called purses back then.
And a lot of ladies just carried baskets when they went shopping. And they would just put their fruits, their vegetables in a basket. They're just much easier than, of course, today we have shopping bags that the stores give us, but they didn't have them then. And they would just carry a basket to town when they wanted to go get their supplies. And, of course, they didn't go very much, and most of the stuff is raised on the farm. But a lot of stuff like the flour and the sugar and the coffee, they would go to the store and buy. And then there's different types of jewelry that they would wear. And I just brought a small sample of what they would wear. They would wear their watches. This is just a lady's watch. And they would wear them on their dresses like this. And they would wear these just anywhere they went. These are very pretty. And then the brooches. Instead of wearing necklaces, most ladies wore a cameo or they would wear some type of brooch. They did wear necklaces, but that was with the ball gowns where they hung down. So dresses like this, they would wear a brooch. And then earrings were similar to these. Most of them dangled down. Most of your earrings did. Some were just solid, but most of the earrings would just be dangled down like they have today. A lot of the earrings that they have that they wore then are in style right now. And Carolyn wants to talk a little bit about the morning attire, and she's got a couple authentic pieces that are from the 1860s, such as her fan and her parasol.
Yeah, and this would be a typical morning gown that a lady would have worn during the Civil War era. All throughout the Victorian period, mourning was highly ritualized and detailed. And for the first year, mourning could last 2 years. for the first year of mourning, I would have worn something like this. Absolutely everything would be black. My face would also be very heavily veiled. And you probably can't see, but I have on earrings, but they're black too. And I have on a brooch that's black. And it was called mourning jewelry, because if you wore jewelry even, it had to be black as well. But of course, I would have never appeared in a situation like this during my first year of mourning. I would not have gone outside my home and my close family and friends. I would have had no social appearances of any kind that first year.
Unlike Scarlett.
That's what I was going to say. Unless
Unlike
I was
Scarlett.
Scarlett. Yeah. And then after that first year, they progressively would add things. Maybe they would have a tiny bit of white lace trim on their sleeves or something like that. And then gradually, maybe even begin at the end to wear a gray dress. But some women, such as Queen Victoria and Mary Todd Lincoln, they stayed in the complete black mourning the rest of their lives, and I'm sure many of them did. So even my parasol would have needed to be black. And this is one from the Civil War era, and it's fold. I think this was a carriage parasol to fold it down.
And you would stick it under your arm.
And it's, I think, a wonderful design. It has this little metal sliding piece, and you slide that, and then it stays.